Hi everyone, it's Marissa Sweet and welcome to my studio. Tonight I'm waiting for my friend Vicki Carruthers to join me for our live chat to see what's going on with what's new with her work, her process, and I'm happy to have her as my guest tonight. Yeah. So we'll just wait for her to come on, um, and uh, and there she is. And so now I'm gonna Vicky.
Hi!
Hi, you made it!
I made it! I'm
Yay!
here!
Wonderful. So how are you, Vicky?
I'm great. It's very fun to do this. I've never done this before, so talking into the phone, it's different, but I'm
Weird, eh?
excited.
Yeah,
Thank you, Marissa.
yeah. No, I'm just so honored that you could join me tonight. I know you're a very busy lady with all your wonderful work, and so I'm just actually super honored that you would like to
Oh,
chat with me tonight.
well, I love you. You're wonderful. We've become friends, so it's nice that artists support artists. So
Yeah,
that's what it's about, right? The
excellent.
community.
Yay. So did you
Raw,
tell
raw.
family and friends that we're gonna do this?
I did. I posted a lot, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So can people be on here?
Well, people
How do,
will be. Can you see people
yes, yes,
joining?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So some people would just like to um, investigate and hang out. They may not necessarily ask questions, but yeah, you're free to ask questions. Technically, it's pretty much. I started this in April when COVID just started, and it was just a way for me to reach out to friends because it was so daunting at the beginning. Like the first 2 weeks, I was so unmotivated, and I needed to reach out. And every time I reached out to a friend, I felt inspired and raring to go and paint again. Hi, Roxanne.
Well, you're very wonderful at bringing artists together and supporting, and I think I love that about you, and I think we're all going to learn that. And through the COVID, being so isolated as an artist anyway, even more so. So this has been wonderful to get out there and talk with other artists. And
Yeah,
you do so
like
well.
I have a core group of friends, and we just talk art. But and so that's why it gave me the idea of, hey, you know what? Other people may be inspired by our chat, and so I wanted to make it available, right?
Well, you're so wonderful for that.
Yeah.
Now, is our thing on? I'm stupid technology. So, where it says join on the Instagram, is that on my feed now for my Instagram followers?
Yeah, yeah, people
Oh,
will see
okay,
that you're live with me. It should
okay,
reflect it it will reflect on their feed that you're live.
okay.
You're live with me.
It's very hot at the cottage, so I'm sweating. So, excuse
Let's
that.
remove it now.
It's very warm up here.
Oh,
Where are
yeah.
you?
Well, I've got central air.
Oh, okay.
So for
Nice.
everybody who just joined, I am interviewing or talking with a friend of mine. Her name is Vicki Carruthers. Am I saying it right?
Carruthers.
Carruthers.
Carruthers, yeah.
Carruthers. Vicki Carruthers. And
Just Vicky. Just call me Vicky.
Vicki. And she is a landscape painter predominantly. And her landscapes are all about big shapes, happy colors, and she wants to integrate the Canadian landscape into a very energetic and inspiring piece. And your work is so, like, people know that's a Vicki Carruthers.
Well,
Your style is your voice.
well, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm sure it took you a while to find your voice. How did you find it?
Well, you know, it's funny. I had a videographer here today for my website, and he asked me the same question. I think it's an evolution of many experiences that I got to, because I've done art my whole life from a very young girl in grade 2. But I think when I taught children art for 16 years as a special artist, I learned and was so inspired by the naivety of children and giving them very limited colors to work with, no browns, no ugly beiges, and that in my eyes, and told them to use your inspiration. The work that they did was mind-boggling, incredible, and I learned a lot through that moving forward in this style.
Oh,
that's cool. Actually a lot of it. And like people like Norval Morrisseau, he's one of my huge inspirations of color. So when he uses his red, they just like they just vibrate against his greens, and so that's why I actually choose red for my skies in the beginning, was because of his work.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So this leads me to your process. Do you start with a wash?
So a couple of things. Either I work on spot, like in my kayak, or I sketch outside.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. And it's a very quick process, very simple, but layers and layers of paint. So I do a very quick pencil sketch. I don't work on sketch paper. I work directly onto the canvas because I see the world in shapes. And I start like I taught the kids. I start with the horizon line and finding the right location on the canvas. A quick pencil sketch of the shapes I see, the trees, the rock, the water. There's always a sun that goes in at the very last, because it just sort of
it anchors
uses
everything together.
Uses that space. And then it's a watercolor wash that sort of helps me depict the colors. And I pick the sky color first. So let's say it's a commission and they want a red sky or a purple sky or an orange sky. Then that helps me to decide what the other colors in the painting, and I'm completely drawn to complements, because I like my paintings to kind of vibrate with extra boldness. So, and then I redevelop the shapes even more. I simplify it, and sometimes I use a Sharpie marker so I can see the shapes better. And then I start working with the acrylic, and I use a fluid acrylic, and because it creates me to have the ability to be very smooth. I don't like any
brush strokes.
People ask me, there's no brush strokes, there's no texture. I like it completely flat. And then each shape, you can see the one in the background.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Is built up of maybe 40 layers of paint to get that. So it's painting over and over and over to create that depth and that cover of paint. And sometimes the process changes. Like if that shape is orange, it might turn to be, whoa, a painting just blew over. Blue, like it's a process. So, you know, it changes as I go along until I finally find the right balance of shapes. And the last thing is the oil-based Sharpie marker, where I go in and pull out the shapes. But the shapes are not actually all painted. I create some of the shapes with the marker as well.
Right.
And
yeah. So does your son get the marker around it too?
The whole painting.
The whole painting.
Here, I can.
Yeah.
Can you see up close?
Yeah.
Every shape
is
outlined.
Outlined. Yeah.
So it's like pop art. It just pops.
Right.
I'm just picking up the painting that fell. So, you know, I think the process, I don't use any mediums or any interesting things like that. It's just basic painting and then hours of building up the color within each shape. So that it almost takes over a week to do each painting.
Yeah.
So I think, how long does it take you to do a painting?
Oh, long.
Oh, long. But yours
Yeah.
are so beautiful and free feeling. Like, to me, it seems like they're quicker.
Oh, well, I think I'm getting quicker because I seem to have captured the flow. So I seem to be more comfortable with what I'm doing now. So I would say anywhere between 10 to 20 hours.
10 to 20 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But
so
I
that's
do,
like a week. A
yeah,
week? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
sure. But I do like 3 paintings at a time.
Okay.
So I can't really quantify how much work I've done on each. Right now, I'm sort of tracking down my hours just for fun.
Well, that's
Like,
a great
okay,
idea.
whenever I work on this painting, I
Oh,
track
you
the
track?
hours.
Okay.
And so far, I seem to be managing anywhere between 10 to 12 hours, kind of sort of there. So I think
Okay.
I've gotten into a good vibe, a good flow. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. Your work's beautiful.
Thank you.
I
Thank
want
you.
to ask you about that Canadian landscape competition. That
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
Oh, did you watch the whole show?
Yeah, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's, you
I
must be
had a
proud.
thrill. I had a thrill to even be, selected.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It was great. Such a great opportunity, and I know it's going to be televised again by CBC. So
Wow.
CBC is going to relaunch it. I don't know when, but it might be in the fall is what I'm thinking.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited about that.
Well, you should be. It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, representing Canada, represent.
Well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vicky. So, I was reading your bio, and what caught my bio,
You actually read it. It's long.
it was very well written.
Oh.
Oh my God! It's like it's a nice reveal of who you are. It's like it's a nice story. It's almost like I really got into it. It was very engaging. Your bio.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
So and then it mentioned something like you did some work for a high, was it a store in Toronto? Like
What?
Like way back.
Like when I did store design, that
Yeah.
like
I didn't know you did that.
like Simpsons, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when I graduated from Queens in fine arts, I needed to get a job, and I loved fashion, and I was hired by Simpsons. That's dating me age wise because it's the Bay. And back then, they had a full floor. The 7th floor was like a creative art studio. So right now, the 7th floor, I think, is furniture, et cetera, et cetera. But you created every single window. Like you painted the backdrops. You splattered the fabric. You made various props. You did it all yourself. So that mechanical window that was so famous, I did it for many years. You would spend hours creating all the little pieces and sticking them in. And so it was a phenomenal experience to learn about, everything's in place with whatever I do. So my art, everything kind of has a place. So design and display also taught me about organization and line, shape, color, design, and cleanliness. And I'm quite anal about that with my art. Everything's got a place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's all categorized into sections, right? Your
yeah, it
shapes don't
is.
touch one another.
Oh, it's
Right?
true. It's
This is this is my green, and it's just there in that
yeah,
branch.
it's true. And I don't know if it's years and years of art experience. I think some, I don't think you can sort of say, I do this because of this. I think I do this because of the accumulation of my whole life experience. And I feel grateful. And I was confident when I got to this stage to say, this is what I want to do. Because I was told by some teachers that you can't paint like this. It has to be painterly. And it
Oh,
was a struggle at first, a little bit, like to sort of say, I can do this
yeah,
and we'll see where it goes. But I always would go back to,
to that because
and
it's you.
yeah, it must be, and it makes people very happy. So if I
Yeah,
can make people happy, uh, I feel lucky, so lucky.
yeah,
Like you must feel as artists, you're very successful. It's a gift. And like what you're doing today as artists, we need to share that and support each other because, I don't know where it all came from, but I am totally grateful for my life with the art right now.
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I know, I know it will come back. So I know whatever you give out will come
It
back
comes back.
tenfold, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe in that. So, yeah. So your work, like no brush strokes, is so totally not me, because
We should do a show, like a show together, you know?
same
But
picture, but done your way and done
yeah,
my way. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
because
would
I
be
can't
totally
do
on
your
board.
way. I can't even begin to do your way. It's funny. It's funny what's mentally in your brain, right?
Yeah. So in one of my classes, I help students discover different styles of painting. And one of the styles that I picked was your style, and it's hard. It's not easy, because I told my students there shouldn't be any brush strokes, and they were really struggling with it. Yeah. So
Well,
it's like, I mean, like there's so many styles, so many genres.
yes,
Everybody has their own handwriting, right? So once you find your handwriting, just stick to it, and it's you, and it gives you joy.
that's a nice way to say it. Handwriting. It's very because I'm sure, like you just automatically create those beautiful paintings of yours. And I like sometimes I try to dull my colors. It's true. I say, okay, this one I'm going to make it dull, and my husband will come up to the studio and say, "What? Like, what is that?" Anyways, but about a few hours later, I always go back. It's like I get so excited, and you must too. You get so excited when you're everything kind of is the balance, the design, it's right, and I get so excited about it. So,
Yeah.
but it always ends up being bright.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
people say primary. I don't know if I don't find them primary, but
I think you've got a lot of tertiaries in there. Like
yeah,
those greens have been mixed, and
everything's mixed.
they're not primary,
No,
right? And I mean, like a green is a secondary color already, right?
right.
So yeah, no. What's your favorite color?
Oh, can I tell you a funny story? Um, Gosh, I'm going to forget her name. Canadian artist. She worked with Group of Seven. Oh my gosh. Why have I forgotten her name? I guess it doesn't matter. But okay, favorite color would be red.
Oh, so what
Red.
red do you use? What there's many.
So I mixed it all my own. So nothing is out of a tube. I have mason jars. I don't have them in here. They're in the studio.
Right.
So I mix every color, and I have this Bible. So I will paint a square of the color and then what I did to mix it. But I always mix enough per painting, because to rematch it is difficult, especially for a background when you need a lot. The phyllo reds, and I
Oh,
even use the cadmium as well.
yeah,
And
right.
then I add a bit of the dairy lid yellow. so I mix different things into the red. I never add white to my reds because it gets too pinky. But it's not one red.
It's not just one red. You could have two different reds plus a touch of yellow.
Yeah, and I have
that zing.
An orangey yellow, an orangey red sometimes, and a real primary fire truck red sometimes. It just depends on, I don't know. But red sky, I have one in the other room.
Do you have a sample there that you could show?
I'll show you the red sky.
Yeah. I'm sure. We've got a lot of people watching. Hi, guys. I'm talking to Vicki Carruthers.
This is one of the most, I wonder if you can see it there.
Oh, yeah.
So red sky would be one of the most popular colors requested, especially with men. It sounds funny that I'm saying that, but men buy my art and they love red. And here's one that's, the red. That's one that's, can you see it?
Yeah.
So that's just being, it's hard with the phone. That's just being started.
Oh, that's just a work in progress.
Yeah, so no lines, there's pencil sketch, it's all blurred.
Right.
So that's the beginning of many, 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 many coats.
Yeah, so a lot of glazing on top of each other, right?
Yeah. But I'm happy with that one.
Is that a commission piece?
Yes.
Wow.
90% are commissions, but I don't call it commissions anymore. I call it, I will paint you something that I love, and I hope that you will love it too. Oh. No, what's that word? If you don't like it, I don't want you to have it.
Do they give you a reference photo for you to
Sometimes it's a photo. 99% it's a special place at their cottage, or sometimes I've done some cityscapes of buildings which have been popular, but usually it's a special place to them. Yes. And I try my best to depict especially their trees, but I eliminate things as well. And I just show them a quick sketch. They pick the sky color, and then I don't show it to them till it's done. And I haven't had anyone yet say no, but I always keep that open, because to me, I don't want anyone not loving it more than, I don't know. How do you do commissions? Like if someone doesn't necessarily love it, which can happen.
That's why commission work for me sometimes is quite daunting. And I mean, like, I have done commissions, so usually it's from a reference photo. And they usually tell me to do it the way I do it, right? Like I will not do it realistically. I have that artistic freedom to be me, right? Just based on their photograph. And those commission works I love. I was gonna ask you, do you take a deposit?
No.
No. Nice.
Never
a lot of artists have different strategies with commission work, right?
Knock on wood. I have not. And but it's interesting. I could tell you, I don't know, a good 10 stories of the relationship that I get with the person who commissions the piece. Sometimes it's many visits. It's going up to their cottage. I have created wonderful lifelong friendships with a lot of these people who either have purchased my work or commissioned a piece. So it's a relationship building thing. It's not just, we have quite a few conversations about it.
Oh yeah. So
and I'm sure
are they strangers or like totally like out of the blue, or like majority, are they all friends? Or
no, majority are all strangers.
Wow.
But they become friends at the end.
And then they become friends, yeah.
And
where did they find you, Vicki?
Well, Artist Projects has been an incredible source of reference. I find Instagram lately. I've been through COVID. I'm sure like you, I've sold work on Instagram, which I'd never had before. Word of mouth has seen it and then emailed me through my website. I get a lot of requests to find out where work is available or how do I do a commission. So they see it somewhere and they contact me. So that's, it's all over the place.
Yeah. So do you frame your work when you do the commission, or when you have, is it all framed?
They get it completely. They all get they all comes with a black frame. They're all finished around the edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all come with the frame, and they need a frame. Are yours framed? No.
Like,
that's safe.
They're just by itself. They're not framed. I'm sure it would be more finished when it's framed, you know. But I want to give my clients the option, because some don't want it framed, right?
Beautiful the way they are. Mine kind of, they need it to be kind of contained.
Well,
yeah, like
and that's the whole thing about your paintings, is they all have their own areas. Yeah. Mine is like a little bit more abstracted.
And I also think it's a little calmer. Like there's so much movement and joy in your work, and brush strokes, but they seem calmer than mine seem like sometimes maybe too bright for some people, right? They're quite bright.
Well, no, I love your work, and I've always looked at it at the artist project and always said, how does she get it that smooth? She must be using the liquid golden. Am I right?
I use the liquid golden for sure. And golden, we're doing a plug here for golden.
I know.
It's the best pigment you can find.
Yeah.
Except the greens. I have that real it's a very powerful green, and that's Liquitex. The soft
green.
I mixed up about 3 of their lime green and a lighter sort of lime green, and mix it with white and a bit of yellow. So the greens, a lot of them are the Liquitex ones that you can't get that color in golden.
Okay. So your favorite color is red.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I've always been a red person, and I like Quinacridone Magenta. So we're gonna give the paint names. Quinacridone Magenta is like my favorite, and I love transparent red iron oxide. For me, it just, I don't know, it's just something. I just really like it a lot.
Is it pinky burgundy?
For the Quinacridone Magenta, yes.
I see it in your painting there. Yeah.
But for the transparent red iron oxide is what I use for my browns.
Okay. Do you add white to it?
A little bit of yellow.
Yellow. And what's your blue down in the bottom right-hand corner? I love that.
Oh, many colors.
Yeah, see, you use many. Do you mix?
Many colors.
But do you work on a palette?
What do you mean?
Like do you put your colors out on a palette and work from the palette, as opposed to me, I work by the jar. So each color is separate.
Oh, yes. No, I put it all on a palette, and then I mix from there. Yeah. Before it goes here, it's all mixed on a palette before it goes in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And these are all oil. They're not acrylic. So I can leave it on my palette, or I freeze it, and then I just take it the next day.
And how long does it take to dry your work?
So my work, because I use an alkyd, so it could be anywhere between 3 days to 5, 3 to a week, because I layer a lot, just like you, and I use a lot of palette knife, so it's very thick. So it may be dry to the touch, but I know it's curing inside.
Right.
So you don't want to disturb that. Yeah, and it takes a while for me to varnish it too. Do you varnish your work?
I use a polymer at the end. I
Mm-hmm.
mix with satin and gloss together. It's just very protective for UV rays, and it gives it a little bit of sheen, not a lot.
What do you use? Do you use gloss?
A bit. I mix gloss with matte in golden, so I don't get it too.
I do the same
Do you?
thing.
Okay. See,
How cool is that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So what's your formula if you want to share with everybody?
I'm trying to do more gloss now.
Yeah.
So it used to be almost directly half and half. And with the percentage of water that you're supposed to add, I add more gloss now. I actually add a bit more water, and I'm applying it differently than I used to.
Oh,
So
how do you
I have one of those brushes that's probably 4 inches wide. And if anyone wants to know, they could email me. It's a very thin, wide brush. And I used to be very careful about the way I applied it. And I found sometimes I'd get a little bits of lines and that would drive me crazy. So I found this artist at this artist store in Guelph. I just actually pour it on, and then I take the brush and I go, with mine I can't. I go all over every different direction.
Oh.
Push it off, push it off, push it off. It's simple now. It's easy. I used to be very fearful of doing the polymer because if it wasn't perfect, I could ruin my painting, right?
Right.
So I apply it, push it off the canvas, and I get no lines. I get no differentiation of like when it dries perfectly.
Oh, it's so nice and smooth. It's like unbelievable. Your work is just outstanding.
Yeah, completely. So people at art shows, they come and they look up to it. They're trying to figure out. So they think I put the black on first and then color on top. It's really quite amazing what people think, you know, because they think there's black underneath. I painted the painting black and I put the color. It's really quite, you know, and I always say, you know, go ahead, copy it, but you'll get bored because it's hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, indeed.
Painting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah, they can't. And again, it is your handwriting, right? People will try to imitate the way you spell your name. They can write Vicki, but it'll always look different than your way of writing it.
And what do you put for your signature?
Me? It's an M and then period and then sweet.
Okay.
And M sweet, and then I have 2 dots that you just know where to put it. So
that's your signature.
That's my signature. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's
and then I usually have a dragonfly somewhere hidden in my painting.
Really?
I
love that.
Yeah, it's just one. It's a story, and my paintings are all about camping, right? It's all about the lakes, and it's all about freedom and peace and quiet. And one time we were camping and we were paddling in Algonquin, which is where most of my stuff's from. And then there was this deer fly circling around my head, like nonstop. It was really annoying. You can't run away because you're in a canoe. And then a dragonfly came by and ate it.
Really?
Yeah. So ever since that happened, I've always put the dragonfly in my work because it's like a tribute. Help me. And then it saved me.
Well, it could be. Now, this is going to sound weird. I had some friends over yesterday and there was a seagull on the roof watching us. And I said, go away, go away, go away. My friend said, don't be mean to the seagull. It could be someone you've lost that's come to visit you. So maybe that's who the dragonfly is. Someone you've lost that's come back
and helped me because it's like circling. You know how painful they could get if they actually land on your head and they could just bite you, right? It's like I can't go away. So and then it came and just took it, and then as we were coming around the corner paddling, right? We're paddling, and then we go around the bend, and then there was this giant tree. And once we looked up, it was all the dragonflies.
Wow. They're good luck, dragonflies. They bring
Oh,
you luck.
yay!
So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. So for everyone who's just joined in, I am talking to Vicki Carruthers. She's an amazing landscape painter who's all about happiness and inspiration and big, bold shapes and using the elements of design to create wonderful Canadian landscapes. How's that?
Thank you. Very good. You're very good at this. You're very good at these interviews.
So now, next question, my darling.
Oh,
Do
another
you teach?
I did for
You
16
did, so
years.
past tense.
So children, I adored teaching art to children because I really felt I made a difference, a real amazing connection. And I do workshops at I've done them at some art schools in Toronto. And there's so if people want me to come and do a workshop, I'm open to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, like,
I love to share. I love to share.
oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. So with your art, so you teach exclusive groups. So you don't really like have a venue in like maybe your studio to teach there, or...
Well, I might up here. So I'm at the cottage on Georgian Bay, and I have my husband built me a beautiful studio. Now it will sound fun. We were going to do cocktails and canvases so everyone can come and paint with me and have a glass of wine. And that, but you know, I teach, but I really encourage them to paint their own way. So I'm not going to have a painting of mine that they copy. I let them have the opportunity to find their own inner creativity, because there's so many people these days I find that are looking at wanting to do something creative. They want to paint or you know, take embroidery or photography. Like, so many people come to me, they just want to have the opportunity to try. And I think once you give them the tools and you give them the environment, they just kind of go with it. A couple of workshops I've done have been amazing. They get right into it and they're working hard. And because I give them I encourage them to not use colors that they see in nature, but create their own colors through imagination. So they kind of just go crazy. And so I love that.
Yeah. And really, art is all about creativity and imagination and wonder and excitement. And I mean, like, you see nature, it's there and it's given to you, but bring in your own take on it, right?
Yeah.
Don't copy it. Like, okay, the tree is brown, so then your tree trunk is brown. It's like, let's put some other colors in there.
No.
Like maybe an orange or something.
I think with kids, when I taught children, it was amazing because once you gave them the opportunity to do it differently, they were just like, wow, really? You know, really? And it was incredible. It was really, I just learned a lot from them, actually.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Well, will your classes be listed on your website?
I'm getting a brand new, fabulous website being launched in September.
Whoa!
And I'm also going to be offering prints. This is all new for me.
Wow!
So I'll have an e-commerce. If I do something, I would put it on my website, or I would put it on Instagram.
Right.
So. Right now, I don't have any plans, but if I did, I will do it that way. Do you teach? Do you do classes?
I do teach. And I mean, all my classes were canceled. So I was teaching in community centers. And of course, that's the first to get canceled would be galleries and community centers.
Right.
But I do teach from my home studio as well. Actually, this segues into my very first plein air class will be held at the end of July, July 25. It's a Saturday. And it'll just be at my backyard.
See, that's fantastic.
So we'll just paint what we see in my backyard. Everything you've always wanted to learn about plein air and were afraid to try, this will be a good forum for it. Yeah.
And
because I like to paint outdoors.
But you can be apart. You can be, 6 feet
I'll be
apart.
a part of the painting.
No, but with COVID, like I know things have changed a little bit as of Friday, but you can being outside would be wonderful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, apart. Okay, I get you.
You get it?
Yeah. We'll be social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll pass through the side gate to the yard, and then everybody will bring their folding chairs, and then I'll get everything set up for them at the back. So if you want to learn more about that, just send me an email or private message me on Instagram, and I'll give you the information.
Where do you
only
live?
taking 10 people because we're only limited to 10, right now.
And where do you live?
I live in Oshawa.
Oh, okay.
Remember? Yeah, you're saying if you want to go to Aurora, anytime.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm talking to Vicki Carruthers. We were neighbors in the artist project this year in February, and we were
friends forever.
Yeah, and my God, that was just before COVID. Like
we got that in like
crazy.
We just squeezed that in. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And Vicki was just so delightful. She kept us upbeat because it's long days, right?
Yeah.
Being at the show from 10 to 10, it is a long day. And there are times that no one's around. It's just us artists. So we kept each other company.
I know. Well, you were wonderful too. It was a great neighborhood, a neighborhood of artists.
Our neighborhood, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, can you tell me about Jim Henson?
Jim Henson. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a cool opportunity. So opportunities come your way.
Right.
He was Kermit and Ernie on the Muppets. He created the Muppets. And he started in Canada a retail store called Muppet Stuff. And it was in variety of malls, like actually it was all over Canada. So I went to Winnipeg, down east. It was in Yorkdale, Square One. So I was the display person for the store, and I did all his store design. So I would set up the whole store for his franchisees. So all the merchandise would come in, and I would merchandise the whole store, do the window design, color block everything myself with his franchisee. And I would meet Jim Henson on occasion when he came to see the openings of the stores.
Wow.
So it was all retail based.
So how was he? Did you get to know the person behind the Muppet Show?
He sounds just like Kermit.
Excellent.
Or did you know Kermit and Ernie is the same voice?
Yeah. Hi, Bert.
He was a very quiet man.
Okay.
In my opportunities of meeting him, but my whole life I have loved the Muppets, and I've loved the characters, especially Ernie and Bert and Kermit. My daughter, when she was first born, we decorated her room with all Muppets, but it was a really cool experience. I did a lot of commercial art after I graduated, various opportunities, which I think a lot of them have led to some of the design work that I do now, and the bold colors too. It's Muppet.
Well, what a great career you've had. Is there another painting in your house that we haven't seen?
So we saw the red one.
Yeah.
There's a little one. Oh,
yeah. Can I see? Can we see?
Have you seen this one? It's hard to do this, but have you seen that one?
Yeah. Can you go closer, Vicki?
How do you do this with the phone? Like,
yeah.
Or maybe I gotta stand like, I don't know.
That's looking good. So you're
and then there's one here.
Oh, okay.
Where am I here? There's a little one.
Oh, is that 12 by 12?
18 by 18.
Oh, okay. So you call that a little one. How big are your big ones?
My big one's 60 by 48.
Oh my gosh.
I'm having
so beautiful.
They don't come up that they're much bolder, but I'm having a photographer next week, and I'm bringing a huge painting up, and we're going to walk on the rocks in Georgian Bay and do some great photographs.
Oh, I love that concept.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Something kind of cool.
Yeah. Different. So our Georgian Bay, it's been a while since I've been there. How is it right now? No COVID cases, no nothing.
No, can you see out my window?
Oh, it's beautiful, Vicky.
So we're basically,
you have so much inspiration.
Everywhere. I kayaked this morning and took a whole bunch of photographs.
Yeah.
And so we're on the point of sort of an island mainland, and right after us is the open bay, and we're about a half-hour boat ride from our harbor. So there's only boat access up here. So it is incredible place to be creative and kind of isolate a bit. It's quite nice to be here. And I'm by myself tonight, which is kind of...
Is that different? Are you by yourself usually, or no?
No. Usually grandkids and children and my husband, and there's toys everywhere. So I cleaned up for this. Like, I picked up the toys, I vacuumed. So, it's
wow.
It's clean.
No. I mean, like it's so nice to be surrounded by nature. I mean, like that would be exciting for sure. Yeah. And especially since you paint the landscape, so you're surrounded by what inspires you, right?
Well, very close to here is the location where Varley painted the very famous painting Stormy Weather.
Yes. And
a 10-minute boat ride.
Your painting that was based on it, no?
Yeah. So 10 minutes from here, the group of 7.
Wow.
70 years ago, we're all here hanging out on the same rocks and painting. It's sort of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So, how do you keep inspired?
How do I keep inspired? Well, if you were up here, like the landscape, when you're out in your boat, it's I don't want to use that certain words, but it's, for me, like every corner of where I look, it's just so much beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also, honestly, the love that people have for my work encourages me to keep going, in a sense that they love it, I love to do it, and I feel incredibly blessed that people want them. So it's sort of like a momentum like that, in the sense that I love painting. I'm sure like you it's like an obsession, and you just love doing it, and there's nothing more exciting than a new paintbrush, or finding a new paint color, or buying a new canvas, or and my excitement is when they're almost done, like adding the black line is so exciting for me.
That's it.
But generated by the love that I can share with other people, really, because I don't know if nobody ever wanted one, if I'd ever really work as hard as I do now. I don't know the answer to that question.
You don't know, right? But the thing is too, you would always paint because it gives you so much joy, right? So I
had done it my whole life, so you just keep going.
Keep going, and you know what? If you can share that inspiration or that happiness with other people, it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Well, I have some in hospitals and chemo wards.
Lovely.
And to me, that's like, if I can make, someone happy during a difficult time. I love that. I really love that. So.
Wow. Well, I know we're close to 8:00, so I'd like to thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Wow. I learned so much just by talking to you. I mean, when we were at the Artist Project, we did talk a lot, but I mean, there's lots of people back and forth, and we were keeping an eye on our booth. So I kind of like this one-on-one with you, and I'm glad that other people joined in, and made it all a fun night of friends
Well,
getting together.
I appreciate so much you asking me. I've never done anything like this ever. And
Yeah.
I hate talking. I don't know what my voice sounds like. But I thank you very much, Marissa, for asking me. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed
Did
it.
you enjoy it? You should do
Yeah,
more. You should talk to other friends like this. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And I
Oh, I'm
can't wait
glad.
till we can actually see each other one
Yeah,
day.
I don't know when we'll see each other, but I did apply for the next artist project next year. Did
So
you?
did I. I said,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I have so much fun at that show, and I meet a lot of, new clients from that show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So I did reapply, and hopefully it's a go. Hopefully we can beat COVID, and everybody would get back into hugging again, because I miss hugging.
I know, and you hug a lot at Artist Project. And because of Artist Project, we're here tonight. So raw Artist
Rah
Project.
rah!
If you're listening, Artist Project, we love you, and
We
we're
love you. Well, thank you, Vicky. I give you kisses.
I love
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
I appreciate it. Everyone
Thank
have
you,
a good
everyone,
night.
for joining.
Okay.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Have
Bye.
a good summer.
You too.
All right. Bye bye, Vicky.
Bye.